For some, there's a large target on their back because they've won this conference championship 9 straight years. Others are looking for the freshmen to step it up big time because of season-ending injuries. And somewhere in the middle, a meet that is literally wide up for grabs. Power and grace. Adjectives from a season culminating with the drama and dynamics of competition coast to coast that leads to this Big Ten Women's Gymnastics Championship. 4 hours live next. Indeed, it's a Chamber of Commerce kind of day outside here in Champaign, Illinois, but the action heating up inside famed Huff Hall. The venue for this Big Ten Women's Gymnastics Championship live on your Big Ten network. I get everybody settle in. We've got 4 hours of the very best in Big Ten's women's gymnastics coming your way. And is there a home gymnasium advantage? Well, head Illini coach Bob Starkel certainly hopes so. Third in this championship 2 years ago. The runner-up last year. He hopes the sequence goes 3-2-1 and done, and home cooking will prevail. Of course, the team to beat, the Michigan Wolverines, the winner of this Big Ten women's gymnastics crown, 15 of the last 17 years. Speaking of Wolverines, surrounded by ex-Wolverines and Olympic greatness. Pleasure to have Elise Ray alongside, the captain of our Olympic team in Sydney and former Big Ten Gymnast of the Year, man getting ready for the Olympics in London in 2012, and ex-Wolverine All-America Eddie Humphrey is alongside. Elise, let's go inside the locker room. You've been in this position many times. The pressure just before going out for that first rotation, what are the girls thinking and how do they relieve the pressure?
They probably aren't thinking too much about the competition right now. They're probably dancing, they're listening to loud music, they're having a great time backstage, just pumping each other up.
Eddie scares me when he's dancing and listening to live music. Let's talk about the success of this Michigan program and what a marvelous job Coach Bev has done. She doesn't feel pressure, and it really translates to great performances for her young ladies.
She does, and Michigan has been stepping up. They've been dealing with a lot of injuries this year, but they expect to have a full lineup and be ready to go today.
Of course, the middle of the lineup is power-packed. Penn State is here, ranked 13th in the nation, right? They've got a target on their back as well. And you start with the Penn State Nittany Lions. Alex, don't call me Alexandra Brockway.
She's been a huge performer this year for Penn State. Stepping up, she's going to be competing 3 events deep today, but has stepped up on the all-around. So look for her to have a big performance as Penn State wants to stay in the running for the title.
And Brandy Personette, a legitimate star, Elise Ray.
Brandy Personette is the defending Big Ten champion. She is out here to win again for her team, first off, I think, but she is the leader on that competition floor for Penn State.
Of course, a little subplot we've got going on in our live coverage this afternoon might be the last battle of the Bottermans, if you will, talking about 2 sisters who go head-to-head. And let's start with Kylie for the Wolverines.
She's only a sophomore, but she trains and competes just like a senior. She's very experienced. This is her first year competing in the all-around, already winning several all-around competitions. So if she's on today, Michigan is going to play side.
This gal is seldom off. She's always on. Sarah Curtis.
Sarah Curtis is a runner-up, Big Ten champion last year. She is consistent. She is solid. The Wolverines are going to really rely on her tonight.
Meanwhile, Marika Botterman, the senior, will graduate with a degree in speech communication, so she could be a future announcer in the Big Ten Network. Told us yesterday she wants a sales job. What should we look for out of her?
Well, I like to think of her, she is the most underrated gymnast in the Big Ten, in my opinion. I think she's going to come out, have a huge competition, competing 3 events today, has stepped up and competed 4 events before and won the all-around earlier this year. So look for her to have a big night.
And how about Allison Buckley?
Allison is only a sophomore for the Illinois team. She was Big Ten Freshman of the Year last year. She is a fighter, she is consistent, and she is young, but she'll do it for Illinois tonight.
She is young, but she is poised like a senior. So we've got champions surrounded and a lot of championships to be decided and some big smiles and some pressure. Elise is ready, Eddie's ready. We're glad you're live with us on the Big Ten Network. Gymnastics next. To you by the National Championships, April 16th through 18th, 2009. For tickets, call 800-8-BIG-RED or visit ncaa.com. Live inside famed Huff Hall. Women's gymnastics live on your Big Ten Network. First rotation. Very quickly, Melissa Fernandez, the super sophomore, 20 years of age, out of Eudora, Kansas. Up first for the home coach, Bob Starkell, on the uneven bars.
She starts with a cast handstand, clear with the handstand. Blind full wet to it.
Position right now, being first up on the first event.
Setting up for a dismount. Double layout.
9.800 has been her season high and her career high on the uneven bars for Melissa. And the dismount for the gal that Coach Bob says has great presence and style.
Beautiful double layout there.
Meanwhile, on the vault, Alexander Brockway for the Nittany Lions of Penn State from Macomb, Pennsylvania, the 20-year-old junior.
We should be seeing a Yurchenko laid out full.
A programming note, if you are looking for softball in the midst of our 4 hours of live Big Ten Gymnastics Championships here, switch over to BigTenNetwork.com. It's being streamed online for you.
And look at that determined face in Alex right now, gearing up for her first event of the Big Ten Championships. There's no other feeling like this.
Because?
This is the biggest meet that you're preparing for all season. I'm sure Penn State right now is gearing to try to knock off defending champions Michigan. There's nothing like your first routine. Okay, a good vault.
9.825 has been her season and her career high for the junior.
A good start for Penn State on the vault. You see the round-off entry, placing her hands on a mat, feet on the board. You can see she was a little sideways there, actually fingertips off the side of the horse, but she stays with it to perform a good vault.
Over on the beam for the Buckeyes of Carrie Fagan, now in her 5th year as the Ohio State head gymnastics coach, Amanda Serene.
Fernandez score on bars, 9.75.
Beam can be a difficult event to start on because you have all these nerves, all this excitement, but she looks ready to go. I think she'll start this team off well here.
Back from a foot injury for her final season as a Buckeye, trying to regain some of the momentum, Eddie, that she had during her sophomore season. She was one of the top performers for Ohio State.
She was, and you can see that face of concentration, just like I was talking about with Alex. First routine of the Big Ten champions, always a little bit nerves. And let's see how she handles it. Southern score on the vault, 9.75.
You have to remember, too, that the crowd is really loud here at this Big Ten Championship, and you really have to get inside your bubble up on that beam and focus.
That's Coach Fagan, who was doing the cheerleading right under our Big Ten Network banner. A former standout for the Penn State Nittany Lions, Coach Fagan.
Solid back handspring layout, step out. Nicely done.
Elise, having competed in this championship, how difficult is it to start out on the most difficult apparatus?
It is pretty difficult. Again, you have nerves, you have excitement, and you have to calm all of that down to do your beam routine.
Her teammate Woodward scored a 9.6, starting Ohio State off on beam. And Brockway's score on vault was a 9.825.
Doing a nice job up here. Dismount, gainer back pike to a stiff landing.
Member of the Cincinnati Gymnastics squad. Her best on beam, as Eddie said, 9.750 for the season and for her career.
Here's her flight series again. 1 back handspring, 2 back handsprings to a layout step out, and hardly any balance checks. Nice job.
3 words that the senior uses to describe herself: outgoing, crazy, and funny. Serene. Amanda Serene for Ohio State.
A minute ago, this was Danielle Hover on vault.
Her best vault score for the year, Eddie, 9.825, and for her career.
And here she does a hand front pike half, a new vault for her, getting the job done, just a small hop.
Coach Steve Shepard said she was literally a godsend last year as a walk-on.
And she scored a 9.85 with this vault.
The sophomore from Hamburg, New York, who celebrated her 20th birthday just a couple of weeks ago.
Real quick.
Taylor Jones out of Edmond, Oklahoma. Certainly a candidate for Freshman of the Year. The coaches all voted at the coaches meeting yesterday at 9 a.m.
Right up to your side.
What does she bring to the program, Eddie? Enthusiasm and school spirit, huh?
And tons of it. And that's what you love from your freshmen. Because when you want your freshmen to come in, yeah, they're freshmen, but you want them to step up as leaders right away, and she's done that. You can even see the nerves from Coach Fagan right there.
Once the place gets really loud, and it's like, you're like, we can't hear it.
Boy, the atmosphere here is wild. I mean, it's a little bit like a three-ring circus, and I mean that as a compliment. You've got fans from 7 schools yelling. You've got a band playing. You've got all 4 apparatus engaged.
It's incredible. There's nothing that explains what it's like competing in a Big Ten championship, and especially this Big Ten championship, which is unique because it's anybody's ball game. There's no one outright favorite today in this competition.
Taylor's ready now. Last year's Oklahoma Gymnast of the Year, 5-time Junior Olympic qualifier.
Her Ohio State team tonight is really going to look for her consistency and her leadership on the competition floor.
And Elise, what a way to get ready for this championship. Busing in from Columbus yesterday after taking final exams.
Exactly. We have to remember that these girls are also students and that their studies are very important. And Carrie was nice enough to give them a day off, so hopefully these girls are feeling refreshed.
Some score updates. The last score on beam for Ohio State was a 9.7. On floor, MSU's Burt, 9.8.
Taylor looks extremely focused up on that beam right now.
And Buckley from Illinois, 9.775 on the bars.
Solid punch front from Taylor.
Doing a good job so far.
Wants to join the Peace Corps and travel the world after graduation. Coach Fagan loved it. Buckeyes off to a solid start on the beam. The freshman out of Edmond Memorial High School.
While watching the beam, Marika Boderman performed on the bars. That's a blind full pirouette to an immediate blind change. Pike Yeager.
Take a look at her form on these uneven bars. Her legs are glued together. Beautiful form.
A little bit short on the cast.
Winding up here for her dismount. Nicely done. You can see how that rises above the high bar when she lets go.
Says her favorite movie quote is from Moulin Rouge. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is to just love and be loved in return. They're going to miss her senior leadership after she graduates. The senior out of New Lenox, Illinois, the 21-year-old from Lincoln Way Central High School, Marika Boderman. It literally, Eddie and Elise, sounds like a swim meet in here.
It does.
It's noisy.
It's crazy in here right now.
The spirit inside this hall, fantastic. Just a second ago, the defending champion on the vault, Brandy Personette.
This is a Yurchenko, laid out 1.5 and nailed it.
Wow, beautiful Yurchenko 1.5.
Best on the vault this year, 9.950. Nailed it twice.
Let's remember, too, that she could do a Yurchenko full that is worth the same thing, but she chooses to go big with a 1.5.
Majoring in nursing, and after graduation wants to go on to graduate school and become a neonatal nurse practitioner.
Boderman on the bars scored a 9.80.
Back on the beam for the Buckeyes, the junior from Yorktown, Virginia, and Tabb High School, Hillary Dow. Best on the beam this year, 9.850, and that's the best of her career.
And Nicole Curler from Michigan State on floor scored a 9.8.
Setting up for her flight series. Solid back handspring layup. She seems to be handling all this noise in this arena very nicely. Switch leap to a straddle jump. Immediate splashdown. Nice combination.
Elise, is this one of the noisiest buildings that you've had a championship in?
Yes, it is, in fact, although I was injured that year, so I was a cheerleader, if you will.
Oh, and she's off the beam.
She tried to fight for that. She really did. Let's see how she finishes up.
What's it like, Elise, as a competitor after you have a frump like that?
It's a little bit jarring. It's unlike anything, you know. You fall in practice, but it's not the same thing. She finished there with a very strong dismount stuck landing.
But that will put pressure on the rest of her teammates as well.
Well, now Ohio State is going to have to count on the next routine to hit, because if another gymnast falls, they will have to count a 5/10 deduction on their team score.
Absolutely. The next girl up on beam, she has a very important role.
That would be Nicole Crowder for Ohio State. Hilary Dow, who wants to become a physical therapist after graduation, still has her senior season. Well, we talked at the top of our live telecast about Sarah Schmidt in the anchor spot, 6th in the rotation, uneven bars for Illinois.
And finish with a big routine. Crowd is really into that routine. Big blindfold to a double tuck dismount. Illinois off to a strong start.
9.900 has been Sarah's best this year and in her career on the bars for Illinois. 5th in the rotation. Rotation 1. First look at the Spartans. Michigan State, Catherine Mahoney.
And Caitlin Rogensack just before her put up a 9.875.
Floor is a really fun event to start on because you have all that adrenaline from starting your meet, and you can just let it go out on that floor exercise. Nice first pass.
A double pike mount.
Sophomore out of Western Springs, Illinois, Catherine Mahoney.
She's
Best on the
playing
floor
nicely
this
with
year,
those judges.
9.925.
Front handspring, front full to a pike. She's having fun out there. She's giving winks to the judges. She's loving it.
Sarah Schmidt's score for the bars, Illinois, 9.825.
This is a great floor routine so far. She has one last run coming up. To a nice double tuck.
9.925. Again, Catherine Mahoney's best on the floor this year against California and Ball State. First week in March. Another look, Eddie, at her first pass.
This was a strong performance. She's ran up a handspring, double tuck landing. She lands just a little bit short, which will probably be about a 1/2 to a 10 deduction.
Competed on the floor the final 8 meets of the year for Kathy Klakus and the Spartans. Catherine Mahoney out of Illinois Gymnastics Institute. Gal that celebrated her 20th birthday on Valentine's Day of this year. And a programming reminder, if you were expecting softball, it's being streamed online. Go to Big10Network.com and follow those bulletproof instructions. Talking about Kathy, 4th at this championship last year, runner-up in the Big Ten championships 8 times, still looking for her first win, but what a coach she has been in her 19th season. She's got 3 freshmen, 5 sophomores, 4 juniors and 2 seniors on her Spartan squad.
Not loud enough. It is loud enough.
And Mahoney's score on flow is a 9.875. We're taking a look at Emmy Labatovsky.
The junior out of Waymart, Pennsylvania. Keystone Gymnastics.
We're going to be looking at a round-up and canceling double layout. Big.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Her heel is right on the line. I didn't see a hand raise. I don't know if the judges saw it, but her heel is right on the line, and the rule is if your heel goes over the line, it's a 10th deduction, so she might have just been on top of it.
That was a close call. Huge, beautiful double layout, though.
Oh, she's off a little bit. You see, she punched and her knees were soft, and she just didn't have enough power to bring that full twist around.
She was smart, though. She knew where she was, and she bailed out at a half to stay on her feet.
Nailed a 9.900 twice in this 09 season for Michigan State.
You can see her teammates there in the background helping her out for this third pass.
Almost stepped out of bounds. The advertising major out of Western Wayne, Pennsylvania.
Good recovery from that second pass.
Strong finish.
Won the floor event twice for Michigan State this year.
Finishing her routine with a double tuck. A good comeback from that stumble on the second pass.
For the gal that celebrated her 21st birthday February 17th of this year. We are live on the Big Ten Network. In the second rotation, the Wolverines with that target on their back go to the vault. Penn State on the uneven bars, Iowa on the beam, and the Gophers on the floor. Back live at Huff Hall on the campus of the University of Illinois. A sunny day outside in Champaign. And a reminder not to miss the biggest conference event of the year, the Men's Gymnastics Championship. From all around the Big Ten, Eddie Humphreys competed in that. Of course, we'll have the individual and team titles up for grabs. The Big Ten Men's Gymnastics Championships. Mark it down, April 3rd and 4th from Ann Arbor, only here on the Big Ten Network. Nittany Lions. Whitney was best on the vault, along with Brandy with 9.900. Fast start on the vault.
Penn State got off to an early big start. Here, Illinois, top scorer was Sarah Schmidt, scoring a 9.825, finishing it out for the Illini.
Buckeyes, Rebecca Best was the best.
And on the floor exercise, Michigan State, Caitlin Rogensack posting a score of a 9.875, keeping the Spartans in the hunt.
Well, let's find out what it's like to be the host coach who put on some long pants after doing some early setup here, right, Elise?
That's right. Hi, Coach Bob. Hometown, home arena. How does it feel for you?
Excellent. You can already feel the excitement in here, other than just the warmth we have. But yeah, pretty amazing stuff. The energy level's pretty high. Great to see it. Great turnout for all the teams.
So your team started on a bye tonight. What were they doing backstage?
Well, right now we actually we just got done finishing on bars, and now they're going to try to practice on a bye. But our first event went well. We kind of missed some landings here and there, but it's our first event. We'll get the jitters out. They're pretty pumped up, so we're almost worried about being too excited.
Thank you, Bob.
Not a problem.
In his 10th year as the head coach for the Illini, as we mentioned, third 2 years ago, runner-up last year, hoping it's 3-2, one and done to win here in front of the home folks. Back live with our Big Ten Women's Gymnastics Championship, 4 hours of live gymnastics. How about the softball? Your Wolverines there, huh?
Yep, coming out, Big Ten opener, and a close one to rival Northwestern, losing 5-6.
This was a moment ago in rotation number 1. 6th up in rotation 1, Rebecca Best for Ohio State.
Ohio State had a fall and needed this routine, and she came through big. Performing a great beam routine. And she has had a big season this year. Coming up huge in the all-around for Ohio State. Competing like a veteran. Full turn, which is a requirement on the beam. And preparing for her dismount. Her teammates supporting her in the back. The handspring, full and a half, stuck it cold. 9.850 score for Rebecca Best.
Seconds away, Eddie and Elise, from the second rotation. The Gophers will be on the floor. Iowa, first look at the Hawkeyes and Larissa Libby's injury-plagued squad. Penn State, they'll be on the uneven bars in rotation 2. And Michigan, winners of 15 of the last 17. Opens up with Hunneth Lohr, then Sarah Curtis.
The 3 minutes of warm-up period is now over.
Coach Bev actually right in front here of where Eddie and Elise and I are watching the action live. What a record she's got. Ranked number 15th in the country, her 20th season. But those national championship rings that you are wearing, Mr. Eddie, right? She's got a bunch of them.
She has a ton of them. More than one for every finger, which is an amazing accomplishment. When she first came into Michigan, Michigan had 2 wins in the conference. In fact, 2 wins on the entire schedule. Completely changed this program around 2 years later, winning her first Big Ten championship. And since then, it's just been an amazing run for Michigan.
Took her Wolverines out to Utah, where they had over 10,000 watching women's gymnastics in that meet. Hunneth Lohr, the senior out of Aurora, Illinois, and Wabastic Valley, the 21-year-old.
Hoping to start Michigan off with a big vault. She's been the leadoff for Michigan all year. Schenkel layup full. Great start for Michigan.
9.825 has been Hunneth Lohr's best.
Performs this vault very well. One of the best vaults I've seen Hunneth do. Good amplitude and just a tiny hop. Usually that's about a 1/2 tenth deduction on the hop, but being a championship meet, the judges very well could take a full 10. Andrea Herbert.
That's the junior from Waterloo, Iowa, Andrea Herbert. She's only 4'10". Didn't take much to dismount the beam, huh? A little more for the 20-year-old, the biology major.
She makes up for her size with a lot of power.
There's her flight series there. Handspring 2 foot to a back layout step out. Small balance check, but she got right back on track.
Competed on the balance beam in every meet this year for Iowa. Made her collegiate debut against LSU and Southeast Missouri State. Second in the all-around a year ago, the junior out of Reno, Nevada.
Hunneth Lohr's score was a 9.75.
Sarah Curtis now for the Wolverines.
Same vault. Great vault. Michigan's off to a strong start.
Tiny hop on that landing there, but her form and that full twist was perfect.
The junior nailed a 9.950 4 times this year for the Wolverines on the vault. Sarah Curtis.
She'll be in the all-around today. Expected to give Brandy Personette a run for her money. Edel score on the bars for Penn State, 9.85.
Over on the bars for head coach Steve Shepard, the 13th ranked Nittany Lions. This is the sophomore, Danielle Hover. Best on the bars this year, Eddie, 9.800. She did it 3 times. That's also her career best.
And she's hoping to have that same score or bigger Going to be finishing with a blind full, double tuck, and a stuck landing. That's 2 stuck landings in a row for Penn State. Really trying not to give away anything. We have here doing a blind full. You can see she finishes a little bit past the handstand, which should be a 1/2 tenth deduction, but sticks to the landing.
On the vault next up, Carrie Pierce, the sophomore out of Huron, Michigan, for the Wolverines. Huron High School.
There's another Yurchenko full for Michigan's team.
And Curtis's score was a 9.825.
Not as dynamic as her other 2 teammates, but still a nice vault.
Same vault, Yurchenko entry. To an almost stuck landing. Getting a little chant together for their next teammate.
A very poised senior, the 21-year-old out of American School in Miami. Tatiana, which she did 5 times this year. 5 9.925s. How's that, Elise?
That is an excellent, excellent track record for Tatiana. We'll see if she can do it here tonight.
And she does an interesting vault. She does a Yurchenko entry, but she's going to do a 1/2 onto the horse. Now, Elise, tell us, how hard is this vault?
It is a very difficult vault. It's an unusual and unique vault, so it's very refreshing to see here in the competition.
Gearing up for this vault. Look at the focus and determination. Half on. Good vault. She takes a step, which will be a 10th deduction, but a solid vault.
Take a look at her block off the horse. She gets way up in the air there. Just needs to open up a tad bit sooner to stick that landing.
Michigan off to a strong start.
The senior out of Corona, California, the 5'2" power pack senior, Brandy Loffer now for the Hawkeyes.
Hansen on the beam just previously scored a 9.775.
That handspring layout step out there. Slight balance check, but nice series.
Carrie Pierce on the vault scored a 9.8. And a bobble. Beam has been one event for the Big Ten Conference that has just been a nemesis. And we're already seeing it today.
Well, and the Iowa Hawkeyes, Eddie and Elise, as you both know, devastated 5 season-ending injuries for the Gymhawks.
That's extremely tough to come back from.
She's finishing up strong here. That's terribly difficult to get back up on the apparatus and finish your routine. Switch leap to a straddle jump. Nice dance combination.
Danielle Hover's score on the bars, 9.725.
Preparing for her dismount here. Round off, back 1.5 twist, small hop.
Penn State Nittany Lions, Whitney Bensko.
Whitney is a very tall gymnast, which creates beautiful lines on the uneven bars. Nice handstand there.
Talented freshman.
Huge ginger, sets herself up for a transition. Shoot over handstand.
Gearing up for a dismount. A little bit short on the cast handstand. Double tuck, good landing. Penn State's really getting after these landings today.
Gets a nice reaction from Steve Shepard in his 17th year as the head of the women's gymnastics program for the Nittany Lions. Whitney made a great splash early in her first meet this year, back on January 10th at Rec Hall. Second in the all-around. A couple of seconds ago, Kylie Botterman for the Wolverines.
Trying to follow Trish Wilson's 9.9, a career best for her. Boderman has scored above a 9.9 on this event.
Kylie, the sophomore out of New Lenox, Illinois, has scored a 9.975 8 times on the vault. Talk about consistency.
Take a look here at this Yurchenko full. This is an excellent event for Kylie. Nice rise off the horse. Small hop on the landing.
Already a 2-time All-America, 19 years young. The youngest of the gals from north of the border in Markham, Ontario, for Iowa, Rebecca Zimbutis. Just a sophomore.
Boderman's score on the vault was a 9.85. And already Iowa is having some problems on the beam.
She's in a difficult position up there following a fall, but she seems to be handling it okay so far. Jump combination.
And that fall that Elise spoke of scored only a 9.15.
Well, we talked, guys and gals, about the devastating 5 season-ending injuries. So Coach Larissa Libby is left with 6 sophomores and 9 freshmen. She said it's time for the babies to step up.
Well, the babies are going to have to become full-grown women today if they want to take home this Big Ten championship. Setting up for her dismount.
Cartwheel gainer full, stuck landing.
Goals for the season, 9.9 on both bars and beam for Rebecca.
Here's that cartwheel. Gainer layout full to a stick. That should help the Hawkeyes get back on track.
Second to go, superstar, the junior Brandy Personette, the 21-year-old out of Katy, Texas.
Trying to follow up Whitney Bensko's 9.8. A nice ginger, small leg split, should be a 10th deduction. Nice transition to the low bar.
Brandy's form on bars is beautiful. Big dismount here, double layout. Nice routine for Brandy.
Coming off her 2nd straight and 8th career Big Ten Gymnast of the Week award. Live, Alex Brockway, the 20-year-old junior. 3 times this year, Alex has nailed a 9.875 on this apparatus.
And Personette's score was a 9.825.
Alex is the anchor on this event, but a position well deserved by her.
Steve Shepard said she came back this year in the best shape of her career. I asked her why yesterday. She just chuckled and flashed that grin. She said, I have no idea.
She's a natural athlete and showing it right here.
Giant full to a double tuck.
A big retain for Brockway.
Steve says she's the anchor on the bars and the beam, and we'll look for some senior leadership next year. High fives around.
And showing why she is a leader of this Penn State team.
Clean giant full. You can see there her double tuck rises above the high bar.
Ori Gabejian, the sophomore out of Newton, Mass, only 5 feet even.
Big mount there.
And Zimbutis before her scored a 9.625.
Some gymnasts on the balance beam tend to do a simple mount to make it, you know, get on the beam nice and easy, but not Hori. She mounts big.
You have to love that risk, especially in the Big Ten championship. And she's off
Flight
too.
series.
And that has been the story for the Big Ten all year.
She's really got to collect herself here. Finish up a strong set. She looks a little bit shaken, as you can see. It's a little bit quieter now in the arena. Flashing a smile, trying to keep it together. Dismount. Big dismount, round off, double tuck. Good finish for her.
For one of the anchors of Larissa Libby's Iowa squad. Competed in every event in every meet this season, Ori Gabejian.
There's her flight series. Turn of the hips, and she's off. It happens that quick.
Best on the beam this year, 9.900.
Joining Alexis Russell in progress. Her first pass was a beautiful double pike. Teammate before her scored a 9.675.
Front handspring, front layout, nicely landed.
And Personet's score on the bars was a 9.825, followed by a 9.8 from Alex Brockway.
Minnesota always has really nice dance on the floor. You can see here the use of her hands and her expression. It's a very nice addition to the tumbling. Third pass stuck.
A big pass, a triple series right there in combination. Not many people do that to end on floor.
The junior out of South Maplewood, Minnesota, and Tartan High School has been Minnesota's anchor on the floor this year. The leading Gopher in 6 of the 9 meets. Her last pass.
Let's look at this last pass. Series of 3 skills in a row. Whip back 1.5 to a punch front. She knows exactly where she is.
Gavesian for Iowa, 9.325. And the senior sister of Rebecca Zimbutis. This is Jennifer, 23 years of age, 5'1", just an inch taller than her younger sister. The health and sports studies major. Not thinking about graduating, just thinking about scoring well here this week.
This is a time for Jennifer to really show her leadership. She's in a tough position with a couple falls ahead of her. It's really important she nail this routine.
And Iowa really needs this score or it is all but over. That was a front aerial that we saw.
Beat jump to a split half. She looks solid up there. She looks very confident. Nice full turn.
She has beautiful lines, nice toe point.
That handspring step out, layout, step out. She caught herself there. Slight balance check.
Russell on the floor scored a 9.875.
This is a great routine for Jennifer so far. Switch leap to a side summy. She danced right out of that. That looked very nice. Back gainer layout with a full twist. Stuck landing.
She was a little shaky in the warm-ups, but gets a hug from Larissa Libby. Best on the beam this year for Jennifer Zimbutis, 9.825 twice.
Wow, did she handle that pressure?
Now the superstar for the Gophers. How did she do on the floor last week? Only her career best, 9.950. Carmelina Carvajal.
And we should see a front step through to round back handspring double back to start this routine. Big pass. Here it comes. Nicely done.
Being a senior, this is her last Big Ten championship, so I'm sure she's feeling a bit of nostalgia, but excitement. Second pass here. The handspring layout, very clean.
Doing a great job so far.
Very dynamic music. Her dance is a great complement to her power for tumbling. Nice jump series.
And Minnesota takes a lot of pride in their choreography, dance, and music, just as Elise said before. And it really shows when they compete.
It really does. It sets them apart from the other teams. Nice clean double pike to finish.
The senior captain with a career best 9.95 on floor, good enough for third place on Minnesota's all-time top performer list. Second pass for Carmelina.
This was the first pass. Dynamic double tuck.
And she nails it.
9.9.
Nice routine.
Jennifer Zimbudas for Iowa, 9.800. So rotation 3 coming up. The Spartans on the vault, the Wolverines on the uneven bars. Illinois moves to the beam here at home, and the Buckeyes on the floor when our live coverage comes right back. Eddie Humphreys alongside, along with Elise Ray, both former standouts for the Michigan Wolverines. We're live at Huff Hall. And a reminder, big ad in the back of the Big Ten Conference program here this week for this program, hosted by Eddie George. Lively, unscripted, untold stories, all personal experiences from Big Ten stars of the past and the present. The Big Ten Quad, Mondays, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, only here on your Big Ten Network. Results of rotation number 2 as viewed from another ex-Wolverine. Eddie?
Well, Trish Wilson came through huge. She's been injured all season, hasn't even done a vault all week. Came through huge, scoring a 9.9 on vault.
Natalie, the best for the Nittany Lions, followed by Brandy Personette competing in the all-around. Whitney with a 9.800. Alexander Brockaway on the beam for the Hawkeyes.
But they had a little bit of trouble, had to count a couple falls, and that's going to hurt them big unless other teams will have the same trouble.
And on the floor for the Gophers, the senior captain, 9.900. Alexis Russell, next best. They tied last week in that meet at home against Iowa. So up in the third rotation. Penn State will take a little bit of a rest. They're in a bye situation. So with the man in his 17th year at the helm, here's Elise Ray.
Coach Steve, 2 events down. How are the girls holding up so far?
So far, so good. We've hit pretty much as well as we can expect at this point. So we're holding our own and doing what we came to do. We're hitting routines, so that's all we can expect.
We noticed on bars your girls are fighting for all those landings. Yeah. Is that going to be the difference here tonight?
Absolutely. Handstands, landings, and landings on floor as well, and beam, bobbles on beam. You can't give anything away today.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Steve says winning is a byproduct of dedicating yourself to preparation and focusing on performance and execution, not the outcome. One of the great gymnastics coaches, Steve Shepard. Young fans and maybe some future judges, but they're very impressed with Illinois here at home. Welcome back live on the Big Ten Network. When she was competing in Ann Arbor for the Wolverines, the beam was one of her best events. So let's check in now and get some tips with Elise Ray.
Let's remember that the beam is only 4 inches wide. The girls tend to stagger their feet on the beam, leaving a bit of their foot hanging off. So you can take a look how hard toes and ankles work during the gymnast skills to stabilize them on the beam. So just as hard as the legs and the arms and the bigger extremities are working on the beam, so are the toes and the ankles holding the gymnast in place.
Eddie, I'll give her a 9.9 for the feature and a 9.0 for the outfit.
Tough judges.
She's laughing behind it. Laughing with us or laughing at us?
Maybe both.
Sarah Curtis, the junior out of Reno. That's where she was born. They moved to California, Sarah was telling us yesterday. There's her score for the Wolverines on the vault. All Big Ten first team last year. No reason to think this outstanding junior won't repeat.
Not just an amazing performer, but an amazing student as well. All academic Big Ten team last year.
4 times this year, she's nailed 9.950 on the bars.
Here to start out for Michigan.
Big reverse hack. She goes in the opposite direction, so she does her release move towards the low bar. That's unusual, and it creates a different kind of tap. Hack salto we just saw was her transition. Nice handstand all the way up there.
Really hitting all the handstands.
Double routine. Stuck landing. No question about that landing.
And the Michigan fans love it in the background.
The biology major, just 21 years of age.
And here's her release move, transition from the high bar to the low bar. It's called a pack salto, performed perfectly. Now, at least seeing your alma mater compete in the Maize and Blue, does that bring back a lot of memories?
It really does. I'm sitting here with sweaty palms because just the arena and the energy, it really, really makes me miss it, I will admit.
And there's the Michigan faithful.
What do the backs of those yellow shirts say, Elise? We might be small, but we're mighty?
Mighty. No freshmen this year on their team, so they are a very small team. But they're certainly holding their own out there.
No freshmen, 4 sophomores, 5 juniors, and 3 seniors for that lady who competed at West Virginia. Michigan State, the Spartans. This is Kelsey Morley now out of Elkhart, Indiana, the 20-year-old.
Performing a very unique vault. Coach Plagas running back to change the number on the vault. You actually have to put your number of the type of vault that you do.
I thought she was going to post a 10 up there for the score.
It's always difficult when the waiting time is a little longer than expected.
What does that do to you, Elise, as a competitor?
Sort of makes you take a breath and regroup. Maybe say over again what's going on in your mental routine.
Twice this year, Kelsey Morley has nailed 9.775.
And watch this. This is a full turn onto the horse, 1.5 twist off. Wow. Only one in the Big Ten to perform that vault.
Born in Hanover, New Hampshire, by way of East Lansing.
Check this out. How many twists can you do in 2 seconds? Full to full and a half. Easily done.
Not a problem. Stuck it well, and high fives from her Spartan teammates.
And her teammate Nicole Curler scored a 9.75 just before that.
On the uneven bars, Tatiana's best this year 8 times. Talk about consistency, Elise, on this apparatus. 9.925, Tatiana.
And Sarah Curtis started out Michigan with a 9.825.
This is a great event for Tatiana. She's one of the 3 seniors. So we're looking for leadership out on the competition floor tonight, and I think we'll definitely see it from her.
Miami native. Out of Universal Gymnastics.
Two-time Big Ten runner-up on the bars in this championship in 07 and 08. 4-time Big Ten Gymnast of the Week.
And Morley's score on the vault was a 9.775.
I think we're ready now out of the American School in Miami. Ranked 6th in the Big Ten on this apparatus.
Hex mount over the low bar to start.
She's trying to follow Maureen Moody's career high of a 9.90.
What a clean bar routine from Tatiana. Big ginger there. Shoot over handstand. Directly to a toe on to high bar. Good connection. Big dismount. Double layout. Smallest of hops. Such a clean routine. Take a look at her release move. You can see here her legs do not come apart when she catches, which is a very difficult thing to do. You'll notice some of the other gymnasts, their legs come apart, but not Tatiana.
Wolverines trying to pad their lead here in this Big Ten Women's Gymnastics Championship. Glad you're with us live on the Big Ten Network. Elise Ray is alongside, the 05 Big Ten Gymnast of the Year, captain of the U.S. Olympic team in Sydney, getting ready for the Olympics in 2012 in London. Eddie Humphrey, 4-year letter winner, All-America for the Wolverines. Kelsey Joanne Undies.
Lapotovsky's score on vault, 9.775. Teammate Morris from Illinois scored a 9.75.
Kelsey started with a simple mount, swing leg over the beam. There's her jump series. Setting up here for her flight series down the length of the beam. Back handspring step out, layout step out. That was solid. You could see the height there on her layout step out.
Ohio State.
Switch side.
Ohio State on the floor has posted up 2 9.775s in a row.
That switch side is a difficult move to do on the balance beam because you're facing away from the beam, which doesn't give you the benefit of looking straight on. Front aerial, beautiful. This routine is packed full of difficulty.
And the candidate for Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Kelsey Joanne Undies.
She just put in a big bid for that Freshman of the Year.
Coach Bob says she's an excellent student, carries herself with pride, a great ambassador to the university. Message to younger kids, Kelsey says, stay in school, say no to drugs, and listen to your parents. Member of the Hometown Heroes program. That's Bob Starkel in his 10th year as the gymnastics coach here. We mentioned that Eddie and Elise are alongside. We're glad you're on board. Just a couple of ticks past the top of the hour here. 3 o'clock local time. 3 more hours of exciting gymnastics action. This crowd, guys and gals, really something as we're watching the Spartans here. Caitlin Rogensack, 5th up in the rotation.
This crowd is really into it today. By far the loudest meet these gymnasts will face all season.
Caitlin has been very, very consistent for Kathy Klegas in her 4 years. Now a senior out of Wheaton, Illinois, one that got away.
And Yurchenko layout half. Well done.
Now Becky Bernard ranks 2nd in the Big Ten for the Wolverines out of Stowe, Ohio.
Becky has had amazing bars since she stepped onto campus.
Trish Wilson from Michigan just posted a 9.95 on the bars.
There's a hop full. You won't see many of those tonight at all. She does it with beautiful form. Shoot over handstand directly to a toe up to high bar. She's really going after those handstands.
And a small step, but Michigan came to play on the bars today.
Best in the bars this year, 9.950 for the gal from Stowe Monroe Falls High School.
There's that aggressive cast handstand. You can't hold back in a championship meet like this one.
She's a big LeBron James fan and just put up a big LeBron James performance.
This gal will just light up the screen. Rochelle Robinson, the junior for the Spartans now out of Chesapeake, Virginia. Only 4'11", but look at this liftoff.
Huge in the air.
Huge in the air.
Michigan State's first ever performer to score a 10.0 on the vault.
Best this year, 9.875 against California and Ball State in a dual meet, tri-meet rather, in March.
You won't see many vaults tonight that get that height.
Incredible amplitude.
54 career top 3 finishes for that super junior. Kylie Botterman, the 19-year-old sophomore, the younger of the Botterman gals.
Becky Bernard's score was a 9.875.
You'll see here that Kylie's going to mount the bar from the high bar, which is unique.
And Michigan State posted a 9.75 and a 9.8 respectively on the vault.
Wow, huge reverse hack there. Again, she's going towards the low bar.
That was sky high.
You'll see there that her straddle back, she let go with a reverse grip. Again, a unique skill.
Full twisting double layout coming up.
Such a dynamic bar routine. Wow. Beautiful dismount.
Has nailed a 9.900. Kylie Botterman has out of Lincoln Way Central 4 times in her season this year for Bev Plucky.
Kylie is out for it tonight.
Might have scored it again.
Let's look at this dismount. This is an extremely difficult dismount. Double layout with a full twist. Nails it.
On the beam for the Illini, Allison Buckley. Second team All-America on the beam. Illinois' first All-America since Nancy Thies back in '76.
Rochelle Robinson's score on vault, 9.825. And Rebecca Best on the floor scored a 9.85.
Allison, last year's Big Ten Freshman of the Year. She just doesn't get out of form, does she, guys and gals?
Definitely not.
Always game time for her.
Nice press mount there. A little artistic flair is always nice to see.
Serene for Ohio State on the floor, 9.75.
And she fights for that series, back handspring and 2 layout step outs, a triple series, which is an extremely difficult series.
Elise, what will that wobble cost her with the judges?
I would say about a 1/10 to a 1/10 and a half. Again, as Eddie was saying, this is a championship meet, so it might be a little bit more. Switch leap to a back tuck. She is fighting.
Let's talk about that. Do the judges score differently in a championship meet?
Well, you never can be too sure about the scoring and what's going on, but they tend to be a little bit harsher, I would say, in a championship meet because this is really the one that counts, and they want to make sure to differentiate the routines.
And when you get to these championship meets, like Elise was saying, to differentiate the routines, the judges are looking for a lot of these small things, like casting, the handstand, the small little bobbles, the small half-tenth hop become full 10th hops.
This was the super sophomore's mount, Allison Buckley.
Here's that press handstand mount. You can see the artistic legs there. That's beautiful. This is a huge flight pass. Triple series, 2 layout step outs in a row, and she fights.
Best for Illinois on the beam this year for Allison, 9.925, also her career best. Asked her yesterday about her dream to go to the Olympics, and she just cracked up. She said, yeah, when I was a little girl. Over to the floor we go with our live coverage. And one of the candidates for Freshman of the Year, Taylor Jones, what she did for the Buckeyes, and Carrie Fagan on the beam, 9.725.
And she's been a big part of this Ohio State team, coming in as a freshman, but already a leader. Ohio State's best all-arounder.
You have to remember that freshmen have a lot on their plate coming into a new university. First competitive season, trying to balance being both a student and an athlete.
Well, let's talk about that. She took final exams yesterday. I mean, she's only a freshman. The other gals, right, have a little bit more experience. But how about you take a final exam in the morning, you bus from Columbus to Champaign. You don't really practice until today.
That's right. You have one of your biggest competitions. It's a lot to handle. But if anyone can, Taylor Jones certainly can. Solid double pipe. This is a very fun routine. A Prince compilation we see from Taylor. Second pass. That's right. Front full to front layout. It's a fun thing about college gymnastics. You can pick your floor music, really cater to the energy and the fun of the crowd. She's having a good time out there.
Jim, if you could pick floor music, what would it be?
Something by Elton John.
Good choice, Jim.
I thought you would have said P. Diddy.
The gal on your screen right now, friends, the only person in 2 years who's been able to challenge Rebecca Best in the all-round at Ohio State. That's how strong a Freshman of the Year candidate Taylor Jones is.
When there's healthy competition within a team, it really can produce some great results. Big 2.5 last pass.
Carrie Fagan, in nominating this freshman, says that she has really created a competitive rivalry on the team. But when she's not competing, she goes to local schools. She reads to kids to promote literacy, leads a food drive effort in Columbus.
There's that big double pike.
A great role model.
Works at a homeless shelter in the holidays. Taylor Jones for the Buckeyes, one of the Big Ten Freshman of the Year candidates. Second to go, Melissa Fernandez on the beam, the sophomore out of Eudora, Kansas.
Just before her, Allison Buckley posted a 9.7.
Back handspring, layout, step out. Slight balance check.
Williamson for Ohio State posted a 9.85 on floor.
Nice leap combination there. That split full is a very difficult jump.
Best on the beam this year has been 9.925. There's Melissa's score. So rotation number 4. Bob Starkell's Illini will get a bye. The Gophers on the vault, the Spartans on the uneven bars, Penn State on the beam. Stick around. Live, the alma mater statue here on the campus of the University of Illinois. Coming up tomorrow, it's a softball rematch between two conference powers. Michigan taking on Northwestern, 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. Today's score, Northwestern prevailed 6-5. They'll go at it again tomorrow, 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock in the Central Time Zone, only here on the Big Ten Network. With the Buckeyes head coach in her 5th year, Carrie Fagan, here's Elise Ray again.
Hi, Coach Carrie. You let your girls come a day late. They had finals. They're feeling the pressure of school and being a gymnast. How are they feeling today?
I think they look pretty well rested. I think it was a good choice. We competed at Illinois earlier this season, so we were familiar with the equipment. And I know they needed that day of rest after a long week of finals.
And how big of an impact is Taylor having on this team? She's nominated for Big Ten Freshman of the Year.
She's a great competitor. She's very focused every day in the gym, and you know when meet day comes around that she's 100% ready to go.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Carrie's Buckeyes tied for 4th in this championship last year. And with Eddie Humphrey alongside, in addition to Elise and our Big Ten gymnastics crew here, the Spartans, Rochelle Robinson, 9.825.
Showing another big score at University of Michigan on the uneven bars, posting 9.95, a career best for Trish Wilson. Again, has not even trained all week due to injury, but coming out huge at the Big Ten championships here.
Scores were right. It was the vault for the Spartans. And on the beam, I'm sorry, this is the floor for Ohio State. Taylor Jones at 9.875, followed by Rebecca Best competing in the all-around.
Freshman leading the way.
Trying to push Rebecca out of the way. Some friendly rivalry. Kelsey Joanne Undies, 9.875, along with Melissa Fernandez, the best for the Illini here at home. Rotation 4, the Hawkeyes on the floor, Penn State on the beam, Spartans on the uneven bars. Gophers go to the vault with Carmelina Carbajal, second from the right. Illinois, actually home to both the Illinois men's and women's gymnastics program, longtime home to the state high school basketball tournament. And when they had that basketball tournament here, it led to the phrase March Madness. So many people in attendance here. Just a look at some of the crowd. Of course, there's not as many Illini here as we would have thought because the kids are on spring break. But still a noisy and a very enthusiastic crowd. Huff Hall, named after the longtime athletic director and football and baseball coach here, George Huff. Mr. Huff was also a driving force behind the construction of Memorial Stadium, where Head football coach Ron Zook earned his trip to the Rose Bowl. All right, a little bit of a discrepancy now, Elise and Eddie, in the scoring because of the bye and the fact we've got 7 teams, right?
Well, you see, Michigan is on top here, but Minnesota and Iowa only have a 48 right now, and that's only due that they've only competed 1 event so far. So after their next rotation, you'll see them up in the 90s.
And for Larissa Libby and her Hawkeyes, as you look at some of the Iowa folks there, looking for some of the freshmen and sophomores to step it up after those 5 season-ending injuries. But her mission here this week was really to gain some experience, have some fun, and recapture some of the spirit, because she talked about not only losing 5 gymnasts, but losing 5 team leaders, both out here on the court, you know, in the auditorium and in the locker room as well. So they're trying to get some Hawkeye school spirit back after losing 5 of their top performers.
She mentioned in the press conference that how proud she was of this team, and that just overcoming the adversity that they faced, it really is a humongous challenge for them to lose so many girls.
Not an easy thing to do.
So we go to rotation number 4. The Gophers on the vault, the Spartans on the uneven bars, Penn State on the beam, and the Hawkeyes will be on the floor.
And Jim, earlier you mentioned March Madness, and it is March Madness in this arena. This is championship weekend for every gymnastics program across the country, but I wouldn't want to be at any other championship than this Big Ten championship right now. Probably will be the closest contested competition throughout the country.
Great job that Illinois is doing in hosting this championship. Is first up on the beam for the Nittany Lions, Casey Rohrbaugh. Out of Spring Grove, Pennsylvania, the 20-year-old junior. 9.850, the best on this apparatus twice this year.
There's her flight series. She just finished. Back handspring 2 feet to a layout step out. Switch leg to 2 straddle jumps. She'll gain bonus there. You have to remember that these girls up on the balance beam are hearing so many different things. The loud floor music, the cheering. You really have to stay focused. There was a kick over front. It's a solid routine so far.
Steve Shepard says she has been, Casey Rohrbaugh, a very consistent force on the beam in every meet, looking for big things not only in this championship, but if they make it further, and of course next year some senior leadership as well. The junior out of Spring Grove, Pennsylvania.
A solid start for Penn State. Big start on the beam.
Here's her combination switch leap to 2 straddle jumps. You can see that both her legs get to 180 degrees. Majoring
in psychology and wants to go to grad school after she finishes up her regular campaign.
Caitlin Rogensack over on the bars scored a 9.65 for Michigan State.
Lucy Ennis up now for the Gophers.
Handspring front pike, a big hop on the landing.
The only member of the freshman class to compete regularly in every event this year, the freshman from Roseville, Minnesota, and Trinity High School.
Your first Big Tens as a freshman is so exciting. You don't really know what to expect. And she's really doing very, very well for her team.
Best on the vault for the Gophers this year, 9.775 for Lucy Ennis out of the Twin City Twisters Gymnastics Club. Head coach Meg Stevenson there. Over on the floor for the Hawkeyes, the 20-year-old sophomore. Fort Salonga, New York, Ariel Susic.
And Donor, just before on floor, posted a 9.8.
The Hawkeyes have a little bit of making up to do on the floor exercise. But the floor is a great event to do that. It's very dynamic. You can take out your frustrations, your aggression, and really nail a good routine. Great double back.
Just like that.
Ariel's best on the floor for Larissa Libby this year, 9.825 at Iowa State back the middle of February. Casey Rohrbaugh for Penn State, a 9.775 just a few seconds ago on the beam.
Here's her second pass. Double pike, no problem on the landing there.
Strong pass.
It's always nice to see the girl smiling. She smiles to her teammates. She may give a judge a little smile in the corner. They really like that. And her final run. Beautiful front handspring, front full, front layout.
Most memorable gymnastics moment, Ariel says, when she signed up with Coach Libby to be a gym rat for the Hawkeyes. Last pass for the 5'4" sophomore.
Here's that front handspring layout full to a nice extended front layout.
All
Plenty of
state
room in the corner
honors.
there.
And the pre-business major, Ariel Susich. Looks like those Hawkeyes got some of that team spirit back that Coach Libby was alluding to.
That is the key to a meet like this. Even if you have a few falls on your prior event, you get right back on track. Keep that spirit up because the competition is not over.
And you love to see those smiles. This is Yuri Nagai on the vault.
Sophomore out of Maryville High School, Maryville, Tennessee. Best on the vault for Jim and Meg Stevenson this year, 9.825. Did it last week at home. Their final home tune-up before this championship.
Teammate Enos just scored a 9.75. Sucic just posted a career high, 9.85 on the floor. And she's having to wait a long time.
Here she goes. Chenko layout full. A little bit of a big step. That'll cost her.
And you can see she pikes down on the last half, which causes her to take that step back.
She's been consistent on the vault. Her vault score is counted on every team score.
A lot of gymnasts are doing the Yurchenko full vault, so the landing is critical to really differentiate between the high scores and the mediocre scores.
Michigan State now, Nicole Curler, fourth up in rotation 4 for the Spartans, and Kathy Klegas.
And Nicole has had a tough time this year. She's had a lot of injuries, but she's just now starting to come back, put things together, coming into her own again.
Good time to do that. She also mounts from the high bar, free hip handstand. Big Ginger there. Her release move takes place in the middle of the bars.
And Michigan State just had an 8.95 on bars, so they need this to be a hit routine.
Notched a season high on the bars and in the all-around in New Hampshire when she recorded a 9.850. Great reaction there from Coach Kathy in her 19th year as the head Spartan. Leading the green and white, 3-time Big Ten Coach of the Year, Kathy Klegas. Alexis Russell next up on the vault for Minnesota.
She's very quiet, but she performs loud. Forming a big Yurchenko layout full, scoring a 9.775.
Scored a 9.850, Elise, at Nebraska for the Gophers earlier this year, her season's best.
You can see she's taped up a little bit in her ankles and has a knee brace, but she's certainly not holding back.
The junior out of Tartan High School and the Perpetual Motion Gymnastics Club, Alexis Russell. 9.825 for Alexis, who will probably take over as the team leader once Carmelina Carbajal graduates. There's Carm on the left-hand side of your screen. On the beam now for the Nittany Lions, Allie Southard.
And her teammate posted a 9.675 just before her. And a correction on Russell's score on vault was a 9.825.
Best of the vault for the year for Allie Southard, 9.850, did it the middle of March.
And Whitney Bensko also posted a 9.3 for Penn State, so they're looking for a big score here that they don't have to count the 9.3.
Look at that mount. She straddles up. She's in a headstand on the beam. Remember, this beam is only 4 inches wide. Preparing here for her flight series. She starts at the very end of the beam. This will be a big flight.
Backhand swing to 2 step outs.
Wow, solid.
That was great.
Notice that she took up the entire length of the beam, sign of a very good series. Kick over front. She looked very relaxed before she mounted the beam, very confident. It's showing here. That was a tuck jump full.
And Rebecca Sabutis just posted a 9.825 over on the floor for Iowa.
Gainer full dismount to a stuck landing.
A huge inspiration to this Penn State team, defying all odds, recovered from a broken back, trained hard to get back and compete, earned the respect of her teammates and the campus, elected captain of the Penn State Nittany Lions team, Allie Southard, the junior out of Nanuet, New York.
Great inspiration. It was a beautiful series.
Rochelle Robinson now on the uneven bars for the Spartans.
And take a look at this release. She does one of the biggest Takachas in the conference.
Way above that high bar. To a straddle back handstand.
Trying to build on Nicole Curler's 9.775.
Such a dynamic bar swinger. Huge dismounts. Pretty big step on the landing.
For the junior out of Ocean Tumblers Gymnastics Club, Indian River High School in Chesapeake, Virginia, the 20-year-old.
Here's her dismount. Double back with a full twist.
All Big Ten her freshman year. When she gets some time off, she wants to go to either Brazil or Jamaica. Now the senior captain a moment ago for the Gophers. Out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, Carmelina Carbajal. Earlier, her best on the vault, 9.925, early February at Iowa State. Here she goes.
What I love about this is the open. Watch the flare right there.
Wow.
Huge vault.
Led the Gophers to their best vault score of the year last week against Iowa, if you watched it here on the Big Ten Network.
As Eddie mentioned earlier, some girls tend to pike down, which creates an over-rotation. Not her. That was beautiful.
Scoring a 9.875.
Brandy Personette, the junior from Katy, Texas, up now. What she's done so far tonight for Steve Shepard and the Nittany Lions, 9.900 on the vault, 9.825 on the bars. Brandy's best on the beam this year, 9.850.
And she's been a solid performer all year. As I mentioned before, 2-time defending Big Ten all-around champion. Look to repeat here, going for the three-peat. Setting up for her series.
If you notice there, her second back handspring in that flight series only uses one arm, which is tremendously difficult on the balance beam. Beautiful flexibility there in her jumps. Beautiful hands and precision for Brandy on this event.
Showing a lot of poise.
Wow, that was a very difficult jump. As I mentioned earlier, you're looking away from the beam, so you don't have the end to spot. Very difficult jump. She did it beautifully. standing back layout step out. Again, a very difficult skill. This routine is packed full of difficulty. Round off 1.5.
Candidate for Big Ten Gymnast of the Year, Steve Shepard says, hard worker, a joy to coach, continues to grow as a leader, always goes above and beyond what's required both in the gym and in the classroom.
What I love about her routine is that she's not afraid to take big risks. She goes big on everything she does.
That skill right there is very difficult. It is only a jump, but it is very difficult. Dismount, round off, back 1.5 twist, tiny hop.
Another blind landing.
Steve Shepard says she never complains, always does what is asked for. And in the anchor spot, getting some words of encouragement, Alexander Brockway, the junior, out of Magungie, Pennsylvania.
Right here, it looks like what's going on is she is talking through her beam routine to Brandy, sort of what she needs to remember, what she's going to think about up there. And Brandy just gave a little bit of motivation right back to her. No coaching necessary at this point, just a little extra motivation. She looks ready to go.
I love the style and sleek look that Brockway brings to her gymnastics, especially on the beam. We're going to see a unique style from her. She's very flexible, which we'll see coming up right here.
Yeah, she certainly shows off her flexibility. It is beautiful. There's one right there.
Personette score was a 9.8.
A little bit of a balance check after her switch leap. That'll break the connection.
Score update. Hansen on 4 for Iowa, 9.85. And Rochelle Robinson, 9.85 on the bars for Michigan State.
Back handspring layout step out.
Solid.
You can see she's talking herself through her routine, which is an excellent tactic to have on the balance beam. Just puts you in focus. Beautiful front aerial. Let's take a look at this here, talking about that flexibility. Really makes her stand out on this event. Split full. Again, a 180 split is what the judges are looking for.
This is a great routine. If she can nail this dismount, she could bring the house down.
Standing front tuck to a wolf jump.
Beautiful.
Immediately to a split jump. You've probably noticed some gymnasts do a front tuck on the beam, but they use a few steps to get some momentum. Not Alex, she does it from a stand. Dismount, gainer back full.
Wow.
To a stick.
And that's big, because that means Penn State will get to throw out that 9.3 that they scored earlier.
Sign of a good leader on that Penn State team.
Keeps them right in the game.
Standing front tuck. Beautiful.
Doing a gainer full dismount.
No movement on those feet.
Perfect landing.
Steve Shepard said Alex has been our anchor on both the bars and the beam, and we look to her to continue to demonstrate leadership. A little huddle there as rotation number 4 goes into the record books. We are live on the Big Ten Network. It's the Big Ten Women's Gymnastics Championship. When we come back, the 5th rotation. Ohio State goes to the vault. Live on the Big Ten Network, the Big Ten Women's Gymnastics Championship. Thanks to everybody here at the University of Illinois. Great job in hosting this event. And a reminder that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Big Ten Conference and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this championship may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Big Ten Conference. Minnesota led by their captain Carmelina Carvajal on the vault, 9.875, right behind Jamie Bullock, 9.850, and Alexis Russell, the junior, who will probably take over for Carvajal as captain next year. Rochelle Robinson, her last event tonight for the Spartans.
She performed big, scoring a 9.85, had a lot of backup there. And on the balance beam, Penn State, Alex Brockway came through big, finishing with a 9.825, keeping Penn State in the game.
Jennifer Zimbutis leading the way, 9.900. The senior leader of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Of course, Iowa, the Jim Hawks, the black and gold. They lost 5 letter winners. They lost 5 to devastating season-ending injuries. So now it's up to the 9 freshmen and 6 sophomores to pick up the pace a little bit. And the gal from Markham, Ontario, Jennifer Zimbutis, the senior.
This was a huge routine. Look at that foot twisting double back, kicks out of it. Not many can do it like she does.
With last year's co-Big Ten Coach of the Year, Larissa Libby, here's Elise.
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
Your team has had an injury-plagued season, unfortunately. How are the girls doing coming into Big Tens?
I think they're doing great. You know, they're a never say die team. We've said it all season long. We've had 5 season-ending injuries, and these kids just never give up. It is probably the most rewarding season I've had as a coach, to watch the young ones on our team just dig and dig and dig and stay focused. And our upperclassmen are really giving us the leadership that we need to have the young ones follow along. So I'm really proud of them. I mean, there's only so much we can give with pretty depleted team, and I'm just really excited that they've come in here with fight in them still.
Thank you. Good luck.
Spirit befitting a 4-year team captain when she was an LSU Tiger. Larissa Libby out of Pickering, Canada. More action live on the Big Ten Network. Live at famed Huff Hall, home to the women's and men's gymnastics team, as well as wrestling and volleyball. We're live on the Big Ten Network. Illini at home will be led off by Marika Botterman on the floor, and Eddie Humphrey, who's in training for the floor exercise in London for the next Olympics. Competed, of course, for 4 years as the Wolverines. What's that floor all about, Eddie?
This floor that the gymnasts tumble on is unique in that it's not like a regular hardwood floor. There's actually springs under the floor to give the gymnasts a little bit more bounce.
Look out, all you gymnasts in Beijing. Eddie Humphrey's coming to London. That looked pretty good. Team score after 4, Eddie.
Penn State came through on the beam, scoring a 147.1. Leading right now, Michigan State at 146.825. But all the other teams haven't done as many events right now.
Still to go on the beam. Michigan in this rotation. The Spartans next, and the Gophers finish up. Honeth Lohr, the senior out of Aurora, Illinois, one that got away from Bob Starkel, the 21-year-old now for Bev Plotke.
Honeth is a very even, consistent gymnast. Great spot for her to start the Wolverines off right here. Nice down on the beam. So nice to see that artistic flair from these gymnasts.
Well, when she debuted, Elise, 4 years ago, her first collegiate meet, she was on the beam and first up against 6th-ranked Nebraska. That's some way to start your collegiate career, huh?
It sure is, and that first position is a very, very important position.
Her best on the beam this year, 9.875.
And a nerve-wracking position to be in.
Absolutely.
I'm nervous just watching.
Elise, are there times when you're out there and that beam looks like about the size of a toothpick?
No, it pretty much stays the same in your brain, but it's the nerves that make you a little wobbly and shaky inside. It makes it so difficult. Sometimes you tend to be more shaky inside than you appear to be outside. There's a front gainer full dismount.
Big start for Michigan on beam.
Big start. Nicely done. Blind landing on that dismount.
And that wasn't easy to do because while she was going, Illinois is rocking out floor routines.
Well, we talked about the battle of the Bottermans, Kylie and Marika. What's it like? Last time you're going up against your sister? Listen in.
My mom was, I was talking to her the other day, and she was like getting a little teary-eyed, thinking that this might be the last time that my sister and I compete together at a meet. And I was like, well, I guess I really haven't thought about that, but I hope I don't get emotional. I mean, it should be pretty fun.
Marika on the floor now for Bob Starkel and the Illini, the senior 5'3" out of New Lenox, Illinois.
And check out the amplitude on this full twisting double back. Gets way up in the air.
She nails it. Big first pass.
You can see her teammates enjoying it in the background.
You don't see too many of those in the competition tonight.
9.850, her season high, her career high. Marika on the floor.
You can see her teammates in the back there. Sometimes you can hear them, and it gives you a little extra boost going into your pass. Nice second pass, forward landing. Nice jump series there. You have to make sure on your jump series your feet get all the way around so that they're square from where you started in order to gain your bonus.
And this is a great routine.
That smile says it all. I mean, she's got that confidence. She knows she's got it going.
Sure does. She's smiling even going into her third pass. Front Rudy.
Especially this routine on the home floor really brought the crowd to their feet, scoring a 9.9.
There's her dad, Hank, up in the audience. He's covering it a little bit right now, but he has a very interesting t-shirt that hopefully we can zoom in on. He's got 2 daughters in the competition tonight.
Marika, the senior. Kylie, of course, for Michigan. And here's that shirt.
There we go. Half and half.
What a great shirt.
Kylie said that he is Team Botterman, not one team or the other. Mounting to the high bar.
First 2 performers for Michigan, Minnesota on the bars posted a 9.625 and a 9.725.
There was a hop full. She's doing some beautiful swinging on that high bar. A little short on her straddle back handstand. That'll cost her. Two giants leading to a dismount. Double layup.
Good landing. Preparing for a double layout dismount. Good form in the air, nice landing. Meanwhile, Ohio State posted a 9.8 and 9.775 on the vault.
We're talking about Hank and Lori Botterman. 50% of the shirt for the Illini, 50% for the Wolverines. And this is Kylie now up on the beam for the Wolverines.
She has great dance up there. You'll see it coming up on her floor exercise in a couple of rotations. I think she even choreographs it herself.
Jordan Sexton before her just scored a 9.85. Teammate Hunt Floyd scored a 9.75.
Punch front, little balance check, but she saves it.
Kylie on the screen there. Marika competed against each other in a tri-meet at Ohio State earlier this year. There's Marika watching. And they ironically shared the vault title in that meet in Columbus with scores of 9.825. But Kylie's still got 2 years to go, and Marika's looking for a job in about a month and a half.
Well, you saw Marika there peek over a little bit. Her teammate is competing on floor, meanwhile her sister's competing on beam.
There's that dismount. No movement in her feet.
And there's the peak.
Sister watching younger sister there.
You love to see that.
And Hank will get to frame that shirt and put it somewhere in the family trophy case, right? Because after this, it can be all Michigan, can't Eddie?
That's right. He can go all blue.
Marika says, hey, you know, my younger sister did okay over there. Candidate for Freshman of the Year, and what Taylor Jones has done for Ohio State so far this afternoon on the beam.
Teammate Williamson just posted a 9.80.
This is an extremely dynamic event for Taylor. The reason why she's anchoring the team on this event.
9.850, this outstanding freshman's best this year for Carrie Fagan and Ohio State.
Yurchenko entry, another full twist. A good vault, and you can see she pikes down a little bit in the vault, which causes her to take that hop backwards. If she had stayed straight, she might have stuck that.
Five-time junior Olympic qualifier. Another look. Liftoff. We have liftoff.
And Rebecca Best before her posted a 9.85, so let's see if she can build on that.
Sarah Curtis now for the Michigan Wolverines on the beam. Her best of the year, 9.900.
Kylie Botterman scored a 9.8.
Just saw a side summy from Sarah with straight legs. That handspring layout step out.
She fought it.
She fought it.
While Michigan was on the beam, Illinois just posted up a 9.85 and a 9.75 from both Sarah Schmidt and Nicole Coward.
Switch leap to an immediate one-arm back handspring. Again, she's taking all of her weight on that one arm, which is extremely difficult on the beam because it's so narrow.
Minnesota posting big scores on the bars, 9.775 and 9.825 from Carbajal.
Round off, double tuck, big dismount from Sarah. Slight hop on the landing.
She took a couple steps, but saved the fall. Big double back.
Here's her flight series. Let's take a look at that big dismount. Two flips in the air. Couple of steps. But she hit it.
Just held down a little too long on that landing.
Sarah Curtis, who had a good tune-up at Georgia when she scored a 9.725 for the Wolverines. Just a second ago, the senior captain for the Gophers on the uneven bars, the 21-year-old Carmelina Carbajal.
And what a day she's having.
Best on the bars this year, 9.800 against Arizona to start the year, and then at Oklahoma for Carm.
There's a Ginger release, a flyway with a half turn that we saw. Her transition from the high to the low bar, which is a requirement. A bail handstand or shoot over.
Here she goes, winding up for a dismount.
Full twist and double tuck.
She nails it.
Gets the stick.
38 of her 39 routines this year have counted to the team score, 9.825.
Amazing consistency.
Live on the beam from Stowe, Ohio, Stowe Monroe Falls High School, the 21-year-old Becky Bernard for Bev Flocky and the Wolverines.
And Alexis Russell, 9.9, career best for Minnesota on the bars.
Becky is so sharp and precise on this event. She has this even flow of movement throughout her routine that is beautiful to watch.
She was the 07 Big Ten beam champion. That was in her sophomore season.
Back handspring,
Wow.
layout, step out. No deduction in that pass. Becky does beam as if she's on the floor, sign of an excellent beam worker.
Sarah Curtis, 9.725.
Tuck jump full for bonus. Becky's had a few great routines ahead of her, and she is keeping up the pace.
4.5. Good routine.
Very good routine.
Two-time national champion at the club level, 10-time state champion.
Let's look at this flight series. The judges will have a very difficult time finding anything wrong with that pass.
That was beautiful.
Round off, back full and a half. Small step.
for the senior out of Stowe, Ohio. Becky Bernard for Michigan.
Strong performance from Michigan right now.
'15th in the country, her Wolverines are. They won, of course, last year's championship with a score of 196.750. Finished ahead of Illinois. Penn State was third. 16 Big Ten titles. Last up on the floor, turned 21 on Easter weekend for Bob Starkel. Out of Heartland, Wisconsin, the junior, Sarah Schmidt.
Posted a high of a 9.925 this season.
Did it with her floor title, a career high. 5th best individual score on the floor in Illinois history last weekend.
And outside of the Big Ten championships, Coach Bob says she's going to play a key role in if Illinois is going to qualify to the NCAA finals or not.
She has some great choreography in this routine. As you could see in the beginning of the routine, she started on the floor. Very creative. Second pass. Front handspring, Rudy. Very nice.
Meanwhile, just before her, teammate Allison Buckley posted a career-high 9.925.
What interesting, creative dance in this routine. It's beautiful. Jump series. Taking a breath before her final run here. Handspring front layout to an immediate Rudy.
And the home crowd loves it.
There's that dance.
She was the Big Ten Gymnast of the Week back the second week in January after winning 2 individual titles. First on the bar and then on the floor. Sarah Schmidt. Another look, last pass.
Here's that front handspring, front layout to an immediate Rudy. Rudy is difficult on its own, but she follows it by a front layout.
Ranked 3rd in the Big Ten Conference on the floor. 5th on the bar, the junior, Sarah Schmidt for Bob Starkel and Illinois. Just a second ago, Kelsey Knutson, the junior out of Ames, Iowa, for Michigan. Watch.
This is a new series for her, and her hips are just a little bit off to the right, causing her to fall. Good thing for Michigan, though, they had 5 hit routines, so they won't have to count a fall in their routine.
There she is with Coach Bev. So that'll be the score they'll toss out 4 times this year. Kelsey has nailed 9.925. So we'll come back and give you the scores of rotation 5 and the 6th rotation. The Hawkeyes on the vault, the Buckeyes on the bars, Spartans on the beam. Penn State moves to the floor. I mentioned the former athletic director, football and baseball coach here back at the turn of the century, a driving force on campus to get Memorial Stadium for football built. And a programming note, mark it down Wednesday. Witness the skill and strength of the conference's best. Michigan at Ohio State. Eddie Humphrey's Wolverines in action against the Buckeyes. Men's gymnastics Wednesday, 6 o'clock Eastern from Columbus. Only here on the Big Ten Network. We'll also have the men's Big Ten championships on April 3rd and 4th. Back-to-back Friday and Saturday night. Right, Pards?
Should be a big weekend.
All right. With Eddie Humphrey alongside as he gets ready for the Olympics in London. Hilary Dow, the best for the Buckeyes, 9.875 on the vault, and then Rebecca Best. Taylor Jones, freshman of the year candidate, 9.800. Gophers led by Alexis Russell on the uneven bars.
Strong performance, and Michigan having to drop a 9.3, stays strong, stays in the lead with a strong performance on the balance beam.
And Illinois on the floor. We showed you Sarah Schmidt. How good was that? Allison Buckley also alive in the all-around, 9.925. And Marika Botterman, the senior, 9.900. So the Illini fighting and clawing their way, trying to win here at home.
And that was a school record, 49.5 for Illinois.
Hawkeyes on the vault, Buckeyes on the bars, Spartans on the beam, Penn State on the floor. Rotation 6 straight ahead, live on the Big Ten Network.